I actually forgot one little thing. I skipped over this level because I was given the opportunity to. But as I said earlier, 1F8 makes this look easy by comparison. This is shorter. And actually, the bulk of the difficulty is in this little shell segment down here. But it goes by relatively quickly if you know what you're doing. I mean, look at this. Let's see if I can get it just right now. If I do this in the first try, I'll be so happy. Like, really happy. Okay, I wonder if I can land on that shell. Let's go! Yep. Get the shell, toss it on the wall, pick it up. Yes! Okay, that's the bulk of Shell Sticker right there. I just did it in my first try. Granted, I did this level, like, twice off camera, so, yeah, Okay, now I fuck up on one of the easy obstacles. Really easy when you compare it to, well, this stuff. Alright, now we're duplicating blocks. I don't need to duplicate blocks, I just need to get through here. Okay. And there we go. Now we're past the blarg. Switch. And now I kinda have a little timer to work with. I gotta go against the miniature clock. We can do this. And I'm gonna have to use a shell, of course. Like that. Don't touch the muncher. Keep in mind the muncher will kill you. Damn it! That was the last obstacle in the level too! Okay, we did it again. Took a while. Gonna wait for you to go bye-bye. And then we're gonna wait for this other guy to go bye-bye. Okay, hopefully now I get it. Still have to worry about that muncher and then, like, the 3 Koopas. But I'm really close. Got past the muncher! Good! Now it's these 3 guys again. Yes! Yes! Haha! Yep. Shell Sticker's now done. Yep. That's all 125 exits a jump. I did them all. So there you have it, it's done. Oh, now I gotta talk about it. Okay, so as far as collab hacks go, I was scared because Talkhaus made it. I mean, the same people that were responsible for ASMT, which really turned out to be a mess. I quit at World 7, and I could probably actually survive it now. Well, I just survived this, so yeah. There was a lot of fun level design here. Difficulty was high, for the most part, especially because of certain authors whose names begin with M. A lot of nice music choices, some of which World Peace had ported. Yeah, World Peace can design good levels, he can port music accurately, and he can do ASM. This guy's a god! In terms of creativity, I think this puts the bar as high as it can be placed. Especially if you look at some of the rooms in Bowser's Castle and Shattered Dreams. I don't even imagine that the ASM in some of those rooms would be too complicated to program, but really, those simple gimmicks can take you a long way when you know how to use them. And clearly, I've seen that people know how to use their gimmicks. Though unfortunately, some levels were harder than they should be. In fact, this stretch of World 6 was definitely one of the most agonizing in the whole game. And here I am, in between 2 Marcel levels. I wonder how many people are gonna see my level. Probably not too many, cause they'd probably get demolished by this guy before they make it to my level. Speaking of which, shouldering on, there really should have been another midpoint between that fast auto-scrolling section there and the boss. Well, the fast auto-scrolling section doesn't give you a lot of time to react. You kind of have to know everything ahead of time. I didn't even know how the hell that Y plus R obstacle worked. And then you gotta kill a boss with all these fireballs aimed at you. And you gotta do all this without taking a hit. This is so close to Kaizo, but somehow not there yet. Some people would probably say that shouldering on second half and the boss are Kaizo. If they do say that, I understand why they'd say that. Then we get Disarray. Oh yeah, this was a fun one. I mean, Derai, however his name's actually pronounced. This person's real mysterious. They've only made one level, so it's hard as shit, and he's never was seen again. I actually tried to look this guy up. I did a Google search on his name, and 2 of the 3 results, I think, or 1 of the 3, I don't know. 1 of the 3 results was porn. Yeah. So what, is this guy a porno star? Oh yeah, Pixel Perfect, this one. No one will blame you for just flying over this. I mean, at least every time you enter, you get a 1-up, and the sections are short, but still. The level is quite literally what it says. This is not good design by any sort of standards. This is the kind of thing that really should have been reserved for a Kaizo hack. Even though it was short and fair enough with its midpoints. Probably one of the few levels in the game that had me looking at every single obstacle individually and practicing it and conquering it one by one. Once the level gets so hard, you just end up breaking them down into obstacles. I also did that for 1F8. I have to practice a specific obstacle, the 2 skulls and the layer 2 wall to pass through, while also hanging around on the rope before jumping and the skulls falling through the tops and the bottoms of the screen. I had to practice that. I dropped the save state right before passing through the wall, so I could get the hang of that before actually doing a run, save stateless, of that last room of 1F8. Oh, and I would also like to say that this collab hack is finished. I just wished I could say the same for SMW CP2. If they ever do finish that, of course I would play it. It's just, I don't even see it getting completed, honestly, at this point. I think SMW CP2 is dead. It's just the people behind it can't get up the courage to admit that it's dead. I mean, it would be a letdown to admit that the project is not functioning as well as it used to, but it's kind of like time to give up, because it's been around for years, and the standards of Super Mario hacking have changed so much in the past 4 years, when that project was in its prime. So, if you want to try and bring it back up to snuff, you're going to have to do a lot of redesigning, and of course, that's going to push back the project's release date even further, to a point where it might never get released. So yeah, I can at least say the jump is finished. Even if it's hard as fuck. Oh, really? Everyone did such a good job here. Even the people that pissed me off. Like Marcel Morso. Considering how much precision the guy asks from you for some of his levels is just ridiculous. I think, like, only a few of them were too long, but still. Mankey Bridge was ridiculously long. And just out of place for World 5. You would start with like 600 seconds from the midpoint and still sometimes not have enough time to complete it if you weren't familiar with the level's layout. Well, at least we're not starting with like 1,000 and then like not having enough time to beat it. And there's always going to be that green switch palace from him. But ever since I saw 1F8, I knew that everything else seemed easy by comparison. Even Shell Sticker and Pixel Perfect. And you've really got to make a hard level for me to say that. But now, I also have to wonder, well, not just Morso, yeah, him too. You have to wonder about him and Anana's Bloodlust, who's also known as Jesus. You have to wonder how frustrating it must have been for these people to actually test their own levels. For something as convoluted as 1F8, There's no way that couldn't have been rigorously tested. Gotta hand it to him. The guy probably worked his ass off to test his level, and now he's probably gonna get yelled at for it being way too hard. You kinda gotta think about that. Because I've made some insanely hard levels myself. Probably because some were longer than they should have been. I think it was less of a case here where the levels were long, there were plenty of midpoints. Me, not so much for some of my levels. But still. And I can't believe one of the things that Romhack said in his Let's Play of Jump. He said something along the lines of, it's more the neighbor's fault for not preparing the player adequately enough for Morso's level of difficulty. We're not all thinking about punishing the player as much as he is. Well, I don't know personally if Morsel is a sadist. Well, I know CLM is, but I don't know if Morsel is a sadist. Some could say that he is, but personally, I'm not, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of us are not for making hard levels that'll just frustrate the player in the end. We want to make something more enjoyable. So it's not our fault. The blame should be on Morso himself. Like, this whole strand here, as I said earlier, was a nightmare to complete because of him. And I so happen to be the guy who doesn't prepare you adequately enough for what's in the green switch. So, everyone involved, give yourselves a pat on the back. Even more so, you know who you are. Yes! That was Jump! That was epic! I don't think I play some of the levels again, but wow! This is like setting the standards even higher than I thought. It's not like Wakanda with all his Toho crossover stuff or original characters. It's just straight up good level design and challenge. For the most part.